this is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. The Indian football men's national team is back in training and head coach Khalid Jamil in their preparations for the upcoming qualifiers for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. And there are two crucial matches coming up in October. First, away to Singapore on the 9th of October at the National Stadium in Singapore. And then India hosts Singapore, the same opponent, in Goa at the Jawaharlal Nehru in Fatorda, Margao on the 14th of October. And these two matches most probably will decide if India is out of the qualifiers or if India still has a potential chance to be playing in Saudi Arabia in 2027. And therefore, with the success Khalid has had in the CAF Nations Cup, let's take it. Third place finish, more than I think we all expected. But now the question is, in those matches, India will have to play a smart game, an attacking game, and be able to score goals. And therefore, the preparations have been hampered because initially, Punjab FC, Bangalore FC, East Bengal Football Club didn't release players. Now, pictures of these have appeared that Gurpreet Singh Sandhu is training with the national team. So maybe because the camp is happening in Bangalore, maybe BFC has allowed players to maybe train with the national team and train with them. Because again, we are not very, very clear on a lot of information that is coming out or not rather coming out in and around the national team. But the problem is still there. It prevails. Is that what can the AIFF do to ensure that if it is having extended camps while the clubs are starting their pre-season for a much delayed Indian club football season, that these two don't clash in the best interest of the Indian football national team. Because the national team is in the situation, as I just said before, the two matches against Singapore will decide, are we out or do we still have a chance? And for that, this team needs the best possible preparations. Need to figure also out, Khalid Jamil needs to figure out which are my 2023 players that I want in this squad, in this team, to be able to get us the result that we want and that we need. We need that training. We need that practice to be able to play games in which we win. If there needs to be some sort of evolution from what we played in the CAF Nations Cup. Yes, we finished third, and I honestly will say I'll take it. But I also saw the many shortcomings of the Indian football team. Once more, we are playing matches in which it was evident in all those four matches that we are technically inferior to most opponents that we face in an Asian context. Given. Defensively, yes, the team setup was better. But also we realized that there are certain things that need to be done for us to be able to do things. On top of what Khalid Jamil has called up, one needs to also remember the players who are there. That the FC Goa and the Mohun Bagan Supergiant players will only join post their matches in the AFC Champions League 2 on the 30th of September and 1st of October, meaning that most probably on the 2nd they will join as per the requirements of the FIFA window. Will that be also the date that the other players will join in? So therefore, that's the question. Does he suddenly have 35, 40 players at this camp and then has to decide, you know what, I want to keep these boys, I don't want to keep those boys? There's a lot of questions that Khalid will have to answer for himself and for his team to figure out which are my starting 11, which are the 23 players which I want to take to Singapore, or maybe even call up a 26-player squad and saying, listen, I've got 3 extra players. If I do have injuries or maybe card suspensions, I can fill up respective slots. A lot of questions unanswered from a national team perspective, unanswered also from a club perspective. And therefore, the AFF needs to find solutions to a number of problems. Let's not go into all the others. But if I want to talk about just the national team, then the AFF needs to figure out how can I get my best players that the coach has called up to train with the national team, prepare for international football, and then play those football matches if there is no competitive club football. If there was competitive club football, if the ISL was happening at the moment, the players wouldn't have to be in an India camp. They would be playing league matches and they would be joining on the 1st or the 2nd of October and then work for a week, there in match sharpness, and then play. And we saw that in the AFC Champions League 2 with the players of especially Mohun Bagan Supergiant that they lacked match sharpness, that a competitive football match can never be replaced by a friendly or a test match or whatever you want to call it, or X hours of training a day. So it's tough, but these are the realities, and hopefully Khalid, Jamil can get some sort of squad together that is going to fight, that is going to show passion, love, desire to wear the India shirt and get a result against Singapore. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? If you've got anything else to say or add, write those things down in the comments. But as always, like, share and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.